Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
What's up, Delora? What's up, listeners? We're back.
Hi, Ashley.
Hello. Guys, I know we took a couple of weeks away, but as usual, when we do, we've hit you with some replays. We had a replay of The Devil Wears Prada. If you did not check that out yet. We also had a replay of our In Conversation with Stacey Spikes, co-founder and CEO of MoviePass, one of our all-time faves.
Yes. Friend of the pod. Speaking of friend of the pod, shout out to Lauren. She messaged me and told me that she listened to our replay of The Devil Wears Prada and that she was laughing and talking along with us. And that to me is like one of the biggest compliments when people, say that they're like talking with us. Like that's the ultimate goal. It's a conversation.
It's absolutely a conversation. I guess on that note, I should shout out one of my relatives. I went to a family reunion while we've been away. And one of my relatives was like, yeah, Ashley, love the podcast. Listen to you guys. And I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Like,
thank you.
People who are close to you don't have to support. We know that, but it's always lovely when they do. So
absolutely
love to hear it. And guys, thank you for, as always, tuning in, coming back, wanting to hear our thoughts on movies, TV, and pop culture. So it is our Thursday episode, which means we will get into the pop culture streets. But before we do, just have to acknowledge, again, some real world stuff outside of pop culture that's going on. And sending prayers out to Texas. If you guys, I'm sure, are not aware, but I'm sure most of you are, that there has been some catastrophic flooding that's been going on in Texas, and that the death toll from said flooding has continued to rise. I'm looking at an NBC News article. The death toll has now surpassed 100, and at least 160 people are missing in Texas floods. That includes many children. It has been so sad to hear, so devastating, on top of so many other things that we've kind of had going on in the world in general. And so just deepest condolences for lives lost, and thoughts and prayers as they continue to try to move forward from this tragedy.
Absolutely. It's just been very hard listening to the updates. So definitely praying for the family and friends that are impacted by this, hoping that they get some closure and clarity in this troubling time.
Absolutely. All right, guys, we will shift gears and move into our headlines of the day, starting with one of my faves. And I feel like I was just saying that I really wanted to see her on tour with JoJo and her, H-E-R, but that's going to have to be put on hold because Tori Kelly is preggers with her first child with her husband, Andre Murillo. I have up a People article, and the couple is said to just be so excited about this gift from God and so grateful for the opportunity to become parents. I've followed Tori's journey since her YouTube cover days, and have always been rooting for my girl. The pipes are gifted by God for sure. So the fact that she gets to have this as well and expand her family, I'm so happy for her.
Yes, I think this is such wonderful news. I think I've been a fan as well since the YouTube days, and I love her music. She's such a bright light. Yes. And just when I see her, I just get the biggest smile on my face. And I mean, I can't even tell you all my faves, but she's been hanging out with Ed Sheeran, and her song with Ed Sheeran is like one of my tops. Like when that song came out, like I was meant to love you or something like that. Like I was made for loving you. Oh, it gets me every time. This is so sweet, especially after the medical emergency that she had
Yeah.
just, I
And I
believe it was
was,
last year or
yeah,
the
I
year
was in
before.
California during that time. And I was like, do I need to go
Yeah.
find the hospital that
Listen,
Tori's at? What's
because
happening? That's
that
my
was no
girl.
joke. And so to have such beautiful news,
Hmm.
I'm happy for her.
Absolutely. Again, this puts my tour plans on hold that I had, but it's okay. It's for a great cause. It's for a great reason. So maybe they'll bless me in the future because if I can get that trifecta, I can be done with concerts. Like
I
I
know.
think I'll
They
be
just need
done.
a song together.
Well, I mean, we already have Bottom Line, which is one of my
Of
favorites,
course.
but I
Yes.
need her to hop on maybe the remix of that, and it'll just give me at least one gem of a song that I love.
With all
That
the
will be
faves.
all three. And I say that not as in that there are many artists I love, but I've seen pretty much all of them now in concert with the exception of like these three ladies. And then I'm going to go see Brandy again because I'm going to see her and Monica on the Boy Is Mine tour, which I'm very excited about in
So
October.
you are gonna see them.
I am. So that means I'll get to see
Nice.
Kelly Rowland, Money Long, excited. But I saw Brandy OG days, sitting up in my room, Brandy. First album, Brandy. So
Cinderella Brandy.
this is just post, a lot of things. So I'm still excited. I'm glad to see that they seem like they have such a good relationship now. One can forget that they got into a fight at one point. Monica punched Brandy in the face
I
allegedly, and
am
yeah.
convinced, even during their verses, Monica, like Brandy was dancing on Monica's nerve.
Yeah, I think they just did not get along, but they found their rhythm now. They understand each other. They seem solid. So let's keep that energy because they are
Absolutely.
90s R&B royalty. Anyway, that was a tangent. Let's move on to the opposite of love and babies, divorce or a split, whatever we're calling it, because they weren't officially married. They were just engaged for a long time. Katy
Girl,
Perry and Orlando Bloom. Yo, OG Bay is back on the market.
he is my teenage dream. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Girl, girl, I had no idea they were merely engaged. I swore that they were married.
They never stepped down that aisle. I mean, you
They
remember
did
they
not.
had like breakup to makeups a
Yeah,
couple of times
before
over
the
the
engagement.
years. Yeah.
Yes.
And then it seemed like, all right, we figured it out. We're
They
solid.
had
We've
a
had a
baby.
baby.
Yep.
We got this together. Twas not meant to be, at least not right now. Apparently, according to people, their daughter is their number one priority and they're shifting their relationship.
They say it's pretty amicable. I mean, he just posted pictures of them on vacation with his son and their daughter. I knew something was up though, I'm not gonna lie, because during the do we want to say space trip?
Yeah, she been tripping. I mean, is she a Taurus? Because you had just sent that video about Tauruses not having a good 6 years. Is she in that camp? Because she has not been
Girl,
doing well in the public eye, at least.
listen, listen, he was barely visible. You could tell he did not want to be there. And oh, she's October 25th, so she's probably a Scorpio.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he didn't want to be there. And I was like, wouldn't he have been like front and center, husband, doting partner, you know? But nope. So
Yeah.
I was curious about that, but in the article I was reading from Us Weekly, they were saying they've been spending a lot of time apart because she's been doing her tour, Lifetime's tour, and he's been filming. So
Yeah. Sometimes, to be fair, those early reasons why it don't work is the reality of the situation.
I've seen that. I've seen quote unquote experts say the problems people have in the beginning of the relationship never goes away. And I can see
Yep.
that. I can see
Yep.
that. I
Yep.
mean, speaking from like personal experience, now granted, I'm grateful that our experiences aren't steeped into anything like crazy, but those little nagging things, that's true. They have not gone anywhere.
Mm.
So
Yeah, people gonna people.
they
Um,
are.
I will just say though that at least it seems like they're having it right as of right now a better co-parenting situation than the Joshuas and Jodys and because this
Girl,
is this is the dynamic again. I always say you hope for with people when they break up is that they can find
yes.
that middle ground to like co-parent well and do what they need to do because inevitably the kid does suffer.
They
when
do.
you're battling.
They do. But I also feel like they're at different parts of their career compared to the Joshua and Jody's. You know what I mean? She's still, grinding. We love her. We know her from, pivotal projects like what was it, Slim? What was it?
Queen and Slim.
Queen and Slim. And obviously she's a fashion girly. We know him from his work through his youth, and we continue to
Oh,
follow his
yeah.
career.
Yeah.
But you
They
never
are in
know.
stark differences with their careers. Joshua
They are
Jackson been doing this thing his whole life.
his whole life.
That's Pacey Witter,
Actually,
baby.
it is. Really quick random note. The house that burned earlier this year, he said he lived in that house like almost his whole life. And I'm like,
Mm,
oh,
that was the
that's
Mighty Ducks money.
I know. That's what I was about to
Yeah.
say. Yes. And I mean, smart on him to keep it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I still love Joshua Jackson. I love both of them. So neither
Same.
to say I say all
Same.
that to say I'm glad that it seems like things are working out for them. I hope it continues to work out for them. Let's
Correct.
let's move on to a RIP. Julian McMahon has passed away. He is known from his role in Nip Tuck, from Fantastic Four. He was original Doctor Doom from
Yes.
the iterations we've
Marvel.
seen come
Yep.
to the screen. And then he's also been an FBI Most Wanted. He passed away at the age of 56 in Clearwater, Florida, after a private battle with cancer. His wife, Kelly, released a statement saying to Deadline, with an open heart, I wish to share with the world that my beloved husband died peacefully this week after a valiant effort to overcome cancer. Julian loved life. He loved his family. He loved his friends. He loved his work, and he loved his fans. His deepest
Oh,
wish was to bring joy into as many lives as possible. We ask for support during this time to allow our family to grieve in privacy, and we wish for all of those to whom Julian brought joy to continue to find joy in life. We are grateful for the memories. That's beautiful. I didn't realize
truly.
until this article that his father was a
Girl,
prime minister of Australia.
kind of a big deal.
Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, I didn't know that either. I mean, he's always had this regalness to him, so I guess it tracks.
Yeah.
He carried himself. I remember seeing him thinking, man, that's a beautiful man.
He
You know what
was
I
a good
mean?
looking man. I forgot he was also in Charmed. How could I forget that? He was Cole
Girl,
in
yes. And he was
Charmed.
in The Residents. So I remember him a lot through Nip Tuck though. Like
Mm-hmm.
that was crazy.
Yeah, him and Kimber. I still remember her name too because I remember when she did this whole like transformation. It was Nip Tuck became a little crazy for me,
Of it did
but it was a good show in its day.
that early Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's move on to our final headline. Anna Wintour has stepped aside. This is why we did the TBT Devil Wears Prada recap, guys, because Anna Wintour, after many a moon as the editor in chief of Vogue, is stepping down or stepping aside, however we want to say it. But she will retain control to
Of
some
course.
extent because she's still going to become, or remain, I guess, a figurehead. This is really just a shift in title, but it doesn't mean she's really going anywhere or that she's not going to still be at the top of the organization. It's just more so she's going to be a part of global efforts and restructuring. So my mind immediately went to the only depiction I know, which is of Miranda Priestley in The Devil Wears
Mm-hmm.
Prada and how she reacted when she thought she was going to get pushed aside.
Right.
And so my thought is always, is did Anna really want this? Is this being forced upon her because she's
Right.
getting older to like, hey, we just want you to kind of be a
After
figurehead now.
37 years.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the greatest idea. Just because, yes, she transformed Vogue when she became editor in chief, but I think someone needs to be able to take that title and have the autonomy they need to be great.
You don't think they'll be able to do that with her being the global editorial director and global chief content officer? That sounds like a
Girl,
lot of oversight.
yes, I feel like it's too much oversight. She didn't have it. So how can I put this? British Vogue, their once editor in chief, he's my fave.
Black man.
Edward, yes, Edward Infell. He was kicking her behind when he was editor in chief of Vogue. Like so much so Beyonce was getting covers over there because she knew where the magic was. And he left, which also broke my heart because I felt like because of Anna's present, he probably wasn't able to do what he needed to do. Now he's starting up his own thing, which is amazing because he's super, super talented. But I don't like it. This is very Miranda Priestley, as you mentioned.
Hmm.
You know, I don't want to get into the generational wars, but it does make you feel like, why can't boomers let things go?
Not till they die.
Pretty much like they're whole like I mean, the Queen of England was definitely not a boomer, but she held on to that crown. She's like, you are going to have to pry this
I
from
mean, she
my
also,
cold
let's be
hands.
for real. She never thought Charles should be king. Like,
She
let's
had
be for
no
real.
faith, no
Yeah.
faith in that man.
She was like, William, I'm holding out for you, baby. I'm holding out for you. Don't embarrass me.
But that's what it's giving. It's giving this. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, I don't
Can
know
she
how
rest?
someone
Can
is going
she
to come
rest?
in and really be able to your point, have the ability to make any significant changes or shape the role in the way that they need to, with Anna's presence still being so looming and large in the overall
Yes,
organization. I mean, we could be wrong, but that's tough. Like, she did this role for almost 40 years.
girl.
So how is it even within her to not try to have like a strong hand in
Thank
the
you.
direction?
Exactly.
And was the Lauren Sanchez cover a slip because of this
Girl, see, and that's where I was
transition?
going with initially. Part of me was like, oh, this is why she's stepping aside because she would never have greenlit that. Because Lauren Sanchez, the gown was gorgeous, but it didn't look great on her. I don't know. I'm not even
Gorgeous
trying to say that to
gowns.
be
Gorgeous gowns.
period. It wasn't giving, you know what I mean? Like that whole wedding was a bit of a shit show, I'm not gonna lie. And
I
to
can't
the
take any of
point,
that seriously.
thank you, to the point
No.
where everybody who attended, I'm looking at them like, really?
I was so disappointed at Oprah. I was like,
And Gail.
and see, is it rude to say I think a little less of Gail, especially after the space excursion, than I was still thinking of Oprah? I was like, I could see you going just to support your friend, be like, hey, I just want you to know I support you in all your endeavors. But to
Yes.
go to the wedding, like, what are we saying,
And
Oprah?
and so for me with Oprah, I'm just like, do you feel like you have to attend because billionaires hang out with billionaires or something like that?
That's when
Like,
you've lost touch with reality. You ain't see Rihanna at that fucking wedding.
no, and I bet you she was invited because some of those people that were there, I'm like, y'all are not friends with them. Shout out to the girl from Euphoria, Sweetie. She ain't friends with none of them. Why was she there?
Oh, you talking about Sydney? Yeah.
Sydney, and then
Well, she may
Usher,
have
was
been
he
there trying to get her
entertainment?
next man. Usher went?
Yeah, girl, Usher was there.
Oh, I missed that. I missed it. Now, see, entertainer, is it? Let me say this because this is going to live forever on somebody's
Internet.
phone and whatever. I don't feel like our generation of entertainers and artists are as strong in their moral convictions as generations past, so it doesn't disappoint me as
Mm,
much when they do certain things, because to an
interesting.
extent I kind of think they're
Like
all sellouts. Like, I think
Nina
a
Simone
lot
would
of them,
never.
Nina Simone would never. Nina
Prince
Simone would
would
never.
never. Prince
Like,
would
they stood
never.
10 toes down on
They did.
things. They
That's
got into the
interesting.
the fight for civil rights, different things. I don't think that I think our generation is weak a little bit in those regards, for sure. There's some people who are, they go hard. We talk about this
Yeah.
even with, like, LeBron to an extent does a lot of things. The WNBA players do a
But
lot
he's
of
in the
things.
Prime Day commercials this
I
year.
mean, again, weak. There's weak spots. There's weaknesses. I mean, hell, Essence Fest is getting blasted for still having Target as a sponsor.
Listen, what's that young
Bruh,
man Kai? He was doing his live stream at Target. I'm like, sir, they have not changed their position. They are using you.
yes, ma'am.
But that check apparently cleared. So
Yeah, we're a little weak. Our generation is a little weak. But Oprah did disappoint me because as rich as Oprah is, I always thought she still stayed very attuned to like reality to an extent and like had a lot of knowledge or thoughts about right and wrong, staying on the right side of history. Going to Jeff Bezos' wedding is not it.
again, the other thing I forgot, Bezos and them showed up to Gil's birthday too. So I think there might have just been a
They
relationship
friends.
there. Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Kardashians, they've been lost in the sauce. They
Girl,
cool with Ivanka
they
and them, let alone
go
the
wherever they can get
Bezos.
attention.
Yeah, I'm about to say the
And
Bezos Trump.
Kim is not looking great lately either. Like, have you seen her?
I haven't really paid any attention, to be
It's
fair.
not great. But yeah, I've been done with the Kardashians for a long time. Like before I would just, hey, watch their shows, so look at their furniture and cars, but I haven't done that in years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was still watching time out of pure desperation. If there's literally nothing else to watch, sure, I'll throw this on the background. But now I just rewatch stuff. Like I'm
Yes.
rewatching OG Sex in the City, loving it again,
Yeah.
loving it.
You know what's on my radar to rewatch because it's now available on Netflix? All of it. Scandal.
I saw that. I saw that. I
Because
never
shout out
finished
to
Scandal.
my my young besties at work. They didn't go through Scandal like we went through Scandal. So they're like, oh my goodness, I'm a season, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, girl, welcome. Okay, to the
Yeah.
club. And I am so excited that y'all are taking the time to watch this excellence.
Take the
Okay.
ride. I never finished, so I may have to rewatch just so I can finally finish it.
It didn't finish as strong as you know, but it's still worth the conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few shows like that where I just kind of let it. I mean, like The Americans, Carrie Russell. The only reason why I never finished it because I just knew that her and her husband were going to get got in the end because they're
Yeah,
KGB. And I was like,
right.
I don't want to see that. If
There's
they're
no
going to get
happy
got, I don't
ending.
want to see that. I'm not supposed to be rooting for them, but I don't want to
Yeah,
see them get got either. So I never finished it because of that. But like Scandal, it just got repetitive to me to an extent with
of
like
course.
outrage and
Yeah.
that gets a little
When
tiresome.
sis was kidnapped but not really kidnapped, I was like, what
Yeah.
are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we
It's
doing?
like those shows where you have to always like outdo yourself. And there's many,
Yes.
many, many shows like that. It just
Yeah.
starts to get wear on you a little bit. It's like, okay, I can't do this for another season. I think it's a wrap. But even The Bear, and guys, we're going to talk more about TV and movies as we wrap up this episode, but we're getting into a little bit now. The Bear is on season 4. Wrap this up.
They got approved
Wrap,
for season 5, by the way.
I and I know because as I was watching it, I was like, this feels like the final season. The last episode of season 4 is called Goodbye. So talked to my Google Nest and I said, Google, hey Google, is this the last season of The Bear? She said, I can't answer that for you, but they've been greenlit for a season 5. I said, well, you did just answer my question, girl. And the answer is there will be
Right.
another season. Should it have another season? Absolutely not. Let's wrap this shit up.
I've been seeing articles saying like they've lost the plot or something.
To me, there was no need to have more than 2 seasons. 2 seasons felt good. 2 seasons was
Hmm.
fine. Season 3, I think I even talked about on the pod before, sputtered. Season 4, wrap this up. Wrap this up. And I don't know if it's a difference in direction and kind of the pacing because the pacing has changed a lot. But yeah. Anyway, that was a long tangent in headlines. We can move on to hot topics.
Okay.
First one up, y'all. We know it's a little late because it's happened, and we're just getting back to it. So we got to talk about this Diddy verdict. Unfortunately, things went as I suspected from jump. This man was never gonna see real prison time. There was never gonna be the level of justice that victims deserved and were hoping for. because of his power influence and the fact that there's a lot of murkiness, I think, to the elements of the case in terms of charges that were brought,
Yeah, yeah,
testimony. It was just a lot. And we were hearing a lot of it from the perspective of people outside of the courtroom, but we just never
right.
knew necessarily how the jurors were perceiving it. But clearly, they also,
He also
felt
has
some
some
of
good
these
ass
things.
lawyers.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did. Because he was acquitted of the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering and only received guilty verdicts on transportation to engage in prostitution, 2 counts.
Not even the big one, the RICO charge. It's
Not the
like,
RICO. No.
what?
Yep. And
That
so
and their conviction rate is supposed to be in like over 95%. You know what I mean? The
and
feds.
that's been talked about with the particular, especially the particular prosecutors who brought this case, is that they had such a high conviction rate. One of the conversations I heard on Higher Learning from the lawyer that they often consult with, the defense attorney there, she said that sometimes people just go and bring these to trial just so that victims can have their day in court. And maybe that's the case here, but I'm pretty sure that they really hoped to have a bit more charged against him than something that will only carry possibly 10 years, and he's definitely going to get less than that.
Ashley, you got Cassie out here and other witnesses scared for their lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it's to the point where it's like, what was the point of them uncovering their experiences with him if this is what's gonna happen, you know?
Apparently, he got a standing ovation from his fellow inmates when he returned to the jail, according to his lawyers. I'm like, there's something wrong with
Where
us.
is accountability?
There's something really wrong with us, for real.
I I have to say I did lose interest in the case because I just didn't know how it was going to turn out. And even our faves, Ashley, Tori was
Oof.
doing the backwards tap dancing,
Yeah, he and I are
major
broken up.
CYA.
Nah,
His
we're broken
his
up. He's a
tone
bitch.
changed so quickly. And I almost feel like he did that because he's also in New York or something like that. I don't know.
We're
But
broken
I
up.
was like, excuse me?
Yeah,
What happened
he's.
to journalistic
Mm.
integrity, sir?
Didn't he also talk about his own nephew almost being a victim of Diddy?
Yes.
Like he was a bitch for real
Yes.
for that. Oh, bring on one of Diddy's left hand or right hand men and say how he's not like he not all's forgiven. He's not. What are we saying? What is going on? We are broken up. We are done. We are done.
It's so bad. It's so bad. People are genuinely scared of this man.
God bless the
You think he
victims.
has the cojones to do something to these people? Or you think he's just gonna let them shake in fear?
I have no idea what this man's about to do now. I mean, he's beat significant, serious charges, mind you, for the second time, because I think some people forget that he almost caught some
Yes.
serious charges back in the
Weapon
day when
charges in the
Shine went to prison
90s.
for him.
Yes.
I
Oh, I wonder how Shine is feeling. Goodness gracious.
Shine's minding his business with his accent. He's good.
What was that in the 90s?
I don't know. They said, what do they call him? They call wherever he's from, they call him that
Barbados? Is it like
Obama, because he does give you Obama vibes.
he does? He looks good
Yeah,
in the suit too. Shout out to him.
he does.
Uh
But yeah, this was really disappointing. I was really sad to hear and see this. And I mean, I hope for the best for the victims and the people who testified that, yeah, there is no retribution or issues that they'll face and that they can just move on with their lives. Because this is a lot. This was a lot.
this is insane. And I was talking to someone the other day about this. It's just like you hope like it's always easy for us to be like, oh, let's, have it go through the judicial system and see what happens. Let's see if justice is served. And I'm like, why do we do this to ourselves?
Yeah.
Because
Especially a jury trial.
sometimes, because they were not his peers.
And it
Um,
don't mean like they are 12 regular, degular human beings.
Exactly. Exactly.
So disappointing. All right. Well, they're saying at the moment that he's not going to be sentenced until October, but his lawyers are trying to
He's denied bail,
fight for
thank God.
that. Yeah, he's been denied bail, but they're trying to push up his sentencing date and trying to argue he needs to be out for his kids and all this stuff, whatever. So we'll see what inevitably happens. He probably won't serve more than a year or two, though, honestly. So crazy. All right, let's move on to our final hot topic, which is really just talking about what's been going on in the content world. What have you seen? What are you planning to see? You and I had talked a bit about off mic about the material list that had come out. Curious if you're going to go see any other upcoming movies like Superman or, what's on your radar?
What's on my radar? Well, I still have to see the material list, as you mentioned. Superman is not really on my radar, but I will say that I've been enjoying the red carpets. Our fave Jason, is it Bolden? Yes,
Stylist.
stylist. He's been styling Lex Luthor, so he's never looked better. Okay, shout out to Nicholas. Okay, um, in the Superman, but the press has been very interesting. I'm excited that one of the popular romance books. I started this book, I didn't finish it, but it's one of several that's making its way to Netflix. My Oxford Year. It's gonna come out August of this year, and it's starring our fave, King George from Queen Charlotte Bridgerton series.
But will we have as good a chemistry with anybody
Girl, no one's
outside of
touching that.
her?
Him in India
That was
forever.
fantastic chemistry.
Okay. And that press run also gave me all the kicks and giggles as well. Um, so I'm looking forward to that. And Netflix recently released the teaser for one of my favorite books, The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. That'll be released January 9th, 2026. So I can't wait for that. And we'll talk more about this during my hidden gems. I guess it's not that hidden, but I just finished Ironheart on Disney Plus, and that was a ride. We actually watched it the whole series like on my birthday. My
Hmm.
birthday was a Sunday, and we kept it very cute, very low key. We went out to dinner at a fancy restaurant, and I had a spa day, and we binged Ironheart, and it was a fun ride. Is it my favorite, Marvel series? We talk about this all the time. WandaVision is still like number one for me, along with Agatha All Along.
Top tier.
Those two are top tier. Ironheart, there are some fun stuff that happen. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen next with that. So that's on my list. How about you?
So I did go see the Materialists. Caught that however long back at this point. Not what I expected. I'll say that.
It's from our director from past lives.
Celine Song, yes.
So I'm like, I'm imagining there's depth there that you probably didn't.
There's definitely depth. We'll say that.
Okay.
Definitely
Okay.
depth. Superman, I am gonna go see. I'm gonna see opening weekend, not because I'm a huge DC person, but just because I have a friend that I go see all the Marvel and all the comic book stuff with. And
Yeah.
so we just keep the tradition alive. So we will go check out Superman, see if it's any good. My dilemma with DC is just I'm not as invested in any of those characters except for maybe Batman as I am
And that's
in
only because
Marvel.
they did it well when they did it.
I mean, but it's also just the influence of things that like growing up, like I was an X-Men person, I was a Storm person, that's Marvel,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then Marvel really cut their teeth in the film world better than DC
Yeah.
did for a long, long, long time. So now y'all got me in the universe, and I don't really care about Aquaman like that. I like Wonder Woman, the first film, that was really it.
That was it.
I don't care about the Flash. I don't like. There's just a lot of DC characters that I just don't care about. Bring Catwoman. Give Catwoman her own feature. Maybe I'll be more invested again. Like I just need characters that I care more about to an extent in the DC universe to really invest as heavily in their films as I do with Marvel, and a little more fun as well because it's just they're not as fun, a little darker for the most
Yeah,
part.
they take themselves too serious.
Yeah, and I mean Joker, don't get me wrong, Joker's one of the all-time best villains, and that's DC. But that's
Yeah.
about it. I'll give y'all Batman, I'll give y'all Joker. Fantastic Four, I am curious to see. I mean, we've seen this is going to be the third adaptation of Fantastic Four in our era,
In our era,
which
I'm
is
like, is this
crazy.
necessary?
I don't think it's necessary, but I am. If Pedro Pascal is leading this cast, sign me up. I'm gonna
Well,
go check it out.
Pedro all day, every day. Have you seen his Vanity Fair spread?
Hmm.
It's so good. It's so good. I mean, the fashion, the looks. I just love him. Shout out. It was an article that came out a couple of months ago, like all the movie stars who are like the it guys, and they're making it over the age of 50, and him, Coleman Domingo, and old dude from White Lotus. I don't know his name. The father, least in season.
Oh,
Not the
Walter
father.
Walter
Um,
Isaacs, something like that. Is it
I
Walter?
think so.
Because I'm
Yeah.
not thinking of Oscar Isaacs. That's a different man. Uh
His name is Walton Goggins.
oh, you're talking about Walton Goggins.
Walton, sorry, I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know him.
that's a different person. I thought you were talking about the one who played
The
um
British guy.
yeah, the one who was Draco's daddy.
No.
Jason
Oh,
Isaacs. That's who I thought you
uh,
were talking about.
shout out to him. He looked fantastic in that white wig.
He did. We were talking about him recently because, or I say we, me and someone else were talking about him recently because of that role. And I was like, y'all remember that's Draco's daddy? And they were like, what? It's like, yes, that's
He was serving.
Lucius Malfoy, baby.
Yes.
Like,
With that
because
cane.
he had talked about the fact that Hook, the version of Hook he played in that Peter Pan movie that came out in the 2000s, was the
Yeah.
lowest point of his career because of the reception. He couldn't get a job for a long time. So I was telling them kind of about that. And I was like, but lest we forget, that's Lucius Malfoy. Anyway,
Mm.
I'm also looking forward to seeing Freakier Friday. Of course,
Of course.
got to
We
relive the
should go
magic.
together. You want to go together?
We can definitely go together to Freakier
All right.
Friday.
Lindsay Lohan Renaissance.
The Renaissance, whatever work she has, I need the recipe. Um, I have this on my list just because I'm curious after all these years if Happy Gilmore 2 is going to be any good or if it's going to be complete trash.
Girl, I
Adam
feel like I'm
Sandler, don't let me
afraid I'm out
down.
of that era because there was a time growing up where it was like Adam Sandler had like these, series of movies that were just all hits to me. But then now I feel like, am I going to find any of that funny again?
He hit a
Like,
point where I didn't really love his movies, but I've been back
right.
on the bandwagon of the last few. Like the one his daughter led about her bat mitzvah. I loved that movie.
Okay.
Just go with it. It don't matter what else is on TV. If Just Go With It comes on, I'm watching Just Go With It. I love that film. Blended, I'm always here for him and Drew Barrymore. So like there's definitely
Yes.
the ones he's done that have caught me and I still enjoy. So I'm hoping Happy
Hmm.
Gilmore is that because this is the classic Adam Sandler era that
Yes.
he's trying to
Yes.
bring
Right.
back. So let's do it justice. Do not Coming to America me. If
Oh
you
my
do,
gosh.
I'm gonna be very upset.
Ugh.
Yeah.
That felt like a money grab.
It was just so like Coming to America, the original Coming to America is a classic film. Don't touch a classic if you have nothing to do. Don't touch it. Because now I just have to pretend that this second movie doesn't even exist. That's
Mm.
where we're at. Anyway, finally on the TV side, Wednesday season 2, I can't wait.
Oh,
I
yes.
can't freaking wait. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Did you see when Jenna Ortega wore that infamous dress from Carrie Bradshaw, that Christian Dior dress that Carrie wore when she went and met up with Natasha?
No.
Oh my God. I put a comment on it on from our Instagram, and I was like, I knew that dress immediately because I still couldn't believe that Carrie wore that to go meet up with the wife of the man that he was having an affair with. Like, that's what you wore,
Mm.
Carrie? That's what you wore? You look great.
That's so funny. No, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, it's a great dress. It's fun. Anyway, that's it. That's all on my list.
Mm.
That's it. That's all
Oh,
for. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put this on the mic because I need this ego boost. So when I went to the spa the other day, I got a facial and I signed up for like this detox facial, and she was like looking at my face. She's like, "Oh, you don't need this. We can." She was like, "You have beautiful skin, and we can do this other mask, and because you don't have any deep lines or wrinkles." And I'm like, oh, thank you. Y'all, if you knew how old I turned,
Said thank you so much. You've made
so
my year.
much.
Keeping it tight, keeping it cute. That melanin.
Girl, girl, shout out to Melanin. But yeah, I just thought I wanted to give this little anecdote because I was like, oh, me?
God's
Mind you,
chosen.
I told David that, and he was like, "Oh no." He was like, "So you mean to tell me all the creams and oils you got in the bathroom
Or working. They're working
are
for me,
working?"
baby. That's hilarious. All right. That's it. That's all for this episode. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Delora, what are we recapping for next week?
Ashley, I am so excited, y'all. We are recapping the hit Netflix movie K-pop Demon Hunters. I just, oh, I'm so excited, y'all. Come listen to our thoughts. I can be your sanctuary.
I was going to say, I was hearing about the music before I even really knew what the movie was. I was like, oh, okay.
I
Gotta
mean,
love a little pop.
everything golden. Oh, how it's done. Y'all, we have thoughts.
All right. Well, come back and join us. Guys, please share this episode with everybody you know. We appreciate it. We'll be back with that recap. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.